Are we on anything tonight?
Yes, you are, you don't know, you're on the, it's still been used, but it should go really quick.
Okay.
You're fairly close to the top, so. Okay, it is 6:30. We will call the December 10th, 2018 commission meeting to order. First one is approval of the November 13th minutes. They do have, in addition to the minutes, and that is the cost of the, we should add the cost of the audit to the minutes, which was $23,000 to $25,000. It was just, we approved the audit, didn't have the figure. So that's my only correction. Any other additions or corrections to the minutes?
That was for both audits?
Correct.
Right, so it's,
Yeah, it's for the both years.
yep, so it's written in there.
So I will move that we approve the minutes on November 13th without correction.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Colin?
Yes.
Kit?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Well,
Aye.
yes. Okay. Okay, we don't have any financials. Snow hauling bid opening. You'd asked for bids for snow hauling. We have two. Okay, we've got a whole lot of equipment rates here for 30D. The snow hauling, I'm assuming, is $100, okay? And then if, he also has figures here for if we ever need to hire him to do other things. But the bid was for snow hauling. Next one is from, okay, $100 an hour. Next one is from Brent Barnick, and he is also at $100 an hour. So, I guess they're the same, so I would probably recommend switching off back and forth as needed, you know, unless one can't make it. Okay, I will move we accept both bids, and we use them both as we need them, so that's my motion, to accept them both.
I'll second.
Okay, discussion? Colin?
Yes.
Kit?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
No?
Aye.
Yes. Good. Planning and zoning, the Dave Pyer replat, we had a planning and zoning meeting at 5 o'clock today. The public hearing for the replat of Dave Pyer's property down here. What it is he wants to replat that into 3 lots down here. He would have the house lot, you know, that the house is on. He would have the trailer court lot, and he would have the RV park lot. And one of the biggest things we had on planning and zoning was, you know, they don't actually meet the requirements set in the ordinance, but they were allowed by the city commission at the time before the ordinance was put in. So the replat will actually put each one in, this is also for zoning, we'll put each one in their own proper zoning, you know, just to get things correct in the books anyway. So they did recommend approval of the replat. What I would recommend is that before the replat is recorded, that I would like the condition that both 2017 and 2018 taxes are paid in full on that property. Anybody have any questions on what this is about? If no questions, anybody have questions? Yes.
Was the property surveyed?
Yes.
I see.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, yeah, we have the preliminary plot.
Yeah, it sort of looked like from here.
Yep, yeah, it was surveyed by AES. Yep. So I'll make the motion to accept the preliminary plat with the condition that the 2017, 2018 taxes are paid in full before the recording.
Second.
Any other discussion on that?
Anything with the specials, you know, if we redo this and the taxes aren't paid on the specials over the years.
Well, the specials are included in taxes, you know, for each year.
Right, but that's estimated out for 10 years?
Well, the specials will go with each lot. You know, they'll be divvied up accordingly to each lot.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay, Colin?
Yes.
Kip?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Oh,
Aye.
yes. Okay. Okay, sales and use tax, AIDA and American Legion. So, sales and use, recommended, we'll start with WAIDA first. They were asking for $50,000 for the WAIDA director position. And basically their application asked for a 1-year contract. I did some research today. You know, the city commission video from April 11, 2017, there was a request for $50,000 for the director position. And discussion was that they had funding to make it close to the end of the year for 2017. And then, WAIDA board minutes from November 21st of 2017, director's contract was discussed and increased to $50,000 December 1st, 2017. So I'm assuming that's when their last contract was put together. So the way the sales and use is written is, you know, the city shall accept the sales and use tax recommendations unless it's illegal or doesn't comply with the ordinance. So I am gonna make a motion that we, fund the WAIDA from the economic development portion of the sales and use tax from December 1st, 2018 to November 30th, 2019. And my motion is pay half now and half in June. And also that we require monthly updates of activities and accomplishments to the City Commission and Sales and Use Tax Committee, so we can track, you know, what's being done. That's my motion.
Do you know if they're planning on back paying?
They've been paying her this whole time.
Right, so back paying WAIDA,
Well,
considering they've gone, coming, so it was August, right, they came in?
well, yeah, they did, but, you know, like, kinda like what I pointed out here when I did my research, they asked for, you know, $50,000 for director on April 11th, and they actually had funding for that through the end of the year.
Do you think it's
So,
starting more towards now, not?
that's what I'm thinking,
Okay.
because her contract was rediscussed in December, and renewed on December 1st of 2017. So, and that's from their minutes, so, yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
When I was at the meeting, I thought they discussed that in the motion.
It was discussed, but
To
it
go
wasn't,
back to
it
that
wasn't
date.
really, it wasn't decided on. What it said in the meeting was, we had asked Chad, he goes, yeah, well, I'm assuming it was 2019, and then somebody said, well, why do we have to have a thing? And Janelle said, well, you know, if that's when their contract is, well, and they really didn't know when their contract was. They said, well, it could have been August, could have been September. So they really didn't have an answer. So that's why I'm recommending December 1st through November 30th, and that's my motion, so.
I will second that.
Okay, now on to discussion. Any discussion? Anyone? Okay, Colin?
Yes.
Kip?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
No?
Aye.
Yes? Okay. And then also, we have the American Legion, and that is for, they had an application for $55,000 for the Memorial Hall upstairs kitchen project. And, the 1 cent sales tax, you know, approved that, to come out of the, was it infrastructure and, the infrastructure one.
Community development and
Right,
infrastructure.
and the Legion also said, you know, they will, you know, keep track of receipts and provide them, and then whatever money is left over, you know, they will give back. So they, that was approved for them also. Any questions on that?
I'll make a motion to approve the, funding of the Memorial Hall kitchen out of the 1 cent sales tax funds.
I'll second.
Okay, any other discussion? Colin?
Yes.
Kip?
No.
I'm sorry?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. Mike?
Aye.
Noel?
Aye.
Yes. Teen Alternative Group local permit. I will ask Amy about that one in just a minute.
So Joe Brumbo came in and filled out the application, so, his application for a 50/50 raffle with cash payout of half the cash collected. From January 2019 to December 2019. It's funding for the after prom party, which Scott has intended uses.
Okay.
I'll move to approve the application for the teen alternative group.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Colin?
Yes.
Kit?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Well,
Aye.
yes. Dakota Agronomy Partners lease. Dakota Agronomy has had this lease since, I think it was 2010, I believe. And it's, does everybody know where this is? It's the old fertilizer plant, kind of on the way down to the park there. The city owns the land. Dakota Agronomy owns the building. Correct. So what he's asking for is to continue the lease for another 5 years, commencing January 19th to, or January 2019 to December 2023. Just so everybody's aware of what's going on, the property was deeded over to the city in, was it like 2003, I think it was, something like that. Yeah, anyway, and it's restricted to the use for public utilities, public parks, and recreational trail, except that the tenants, you know, that are leasing it at the time may continue to occupy these premises, you know, as long as the lease is current. You know, if the lease terminates, then it can only be used for public utilities, public park, and recreational trail. So Gerald would like to continue his lease. So we have to decide what we want to do on that. And he's asking to continue the lease, is what he's asking for.
I have a question. Has there been any changes to the lease?
Well, the only thing
Basically.
that changed is the name from Interbase to Dakota Agronomy Partners.
Who is owned by the same company?
Interbase is a parent company of Dakota Agronomy. You know, technically, the building is still owned by Farmazine Oil, which is Interbase,
Right.
but the sister companies, if you want to call it that, and we have the adjacent railroad lease there still, so we maintain them as a group.
Right. Also, we have found out that, Rainey, this has not been on the tax roll, correct? Or the building?
So it has not been on the city's tax roll, so Ryan called me today, and so that's what this paper copy is that you have, because I didn't have that on Friday, it's attached to your stuff in the materials. So you'll look at the top of that, you'll see that parcel number says 814001, so that's a lease for the two-line railroad, so that is where that building has been assessed. So I don't know if they have turned around and been giving you the taxes for that building, or if that's part of your rent, I don't know, but that's where the building has been being assessed, and so Ryan's thinking that they'll probably change that so that it becomes on our parcel, because the building is being assessed to their lease. So if you want to change the lease amount or language in there to somehow cover whatever we get assessed for the value of that building, that's what you'll have to decide.
Which I'm sure is fine with you. You know,
Because there's no, specials attached to that either then right now, right?
A little bit.
Yeah, there's a little bit there.
But, yeah, that's a good question, because I'm not sure how that works, because, well, yeah, right. Well, there would
Mhm.
be, yeah, there would be, yeah, you're right. I don't know what it would be.
Mm,
It would be a secondary special.
Right, from these updates that we've been doing.
Right.
And if it wasn't appraised
Right.
before.
But I think you need to realize that they have this much leased to them out of a property about that big, out of a parcel about that big. So, just, you know, it's not like they have the whole parcel leased, they just have a corner of it, you know what I mean?
Right, but
Yeah.
even
I'm just-
extra lots,
Right.
you know, around town, they all got,
Right. Yes.
no matter what the size was, right, or
Mm-hmm,
they got the specials added to them.
yeah.
So that this lease will cover, you know,
Well, we'll have to make sure that it does.
okay, that's,
Yeah. And that would be probably, you know, we'd have to rewrite the lease, but it's, you know, it's looking for the agreement, correct, to fix it up. One thing I will say, you know, the property probably hasn't been maintained like it should have been, like it should be, you know, which I think if we do renew the lease, we're gonna be kind of strict on that,
Yeah.
you know. Like the weeds and the parking stuff outside, stuff like that, so. The thing I find, is kind of the issue here is, it's actually their building on our land, you know, and if we don't renew the lease, the building is worthless to him, you know, and what do? You know, it would be really tough to say, move your building, you know, so, I don't have a problem with extending the lease. That's my opinion.
Good question.
Yes.
I was on the commission back when I worked with Darrell and David Lindell on this week. That's why I came in tonight. And it was a fair lease, I believe, that he did. He did do some improvements to the building, 7, 8 years ago, so he has made it look better. Like you said, there's a little cleanup around it.
Right.
Needs to be updated, but.
Right.
And Darrell's been doing a good job overall.
Well, it looks to me like the lease will cover the property taxes. So we should be fine there, correct?
but the specials seem awfully low compared to some of the ones I read. $7.78 per street, and I know some of these other lots were $50 that were assessed on different parts of town without a building on it.
Hang on a minute. Well, see now, that's the leased site of 2,250 square feet. It's not the parcel, you know what I mean? That's the actual lease site. Because, you know, the special goes on the parcel, and the parcel is this big, okay, and he's got this much.
Yeah, I
So-
know.
So what I'm saying is,
How big is this building?
Off the top of my head, it's like 40 by, I think it's 40 by 60 or 40 by 70.
60.
60?
question. I own the property adjacent to
Mhm.
that, so if you wanna look at my property, because my lots are platted, so you can break up a 50 by 125 and do comparison.
Well, that's why I was looking at mine, and I got a lot behind my house, and that's where, when I read mine was $50 for a street.
Okay.
So, these numbers are way off.
Well, like I said,
Well, it's 100 by 100. That's about the same size of a lot.
I know, but you would have to look at the actual specials on the parcel itself, you know what I mean? And I'm not really sure how to, you know, judge that without having a bunch of figures in front of it. But it says it's the lease number 17583-8, Sioux Line Railroad. And the taxes on that are $191.06 for 2017. And the specials are roughly about $30. And that's for 14, 16, and 17. But like I said, it's a very small area. Basically 22 by 100. You know, if you figure it out that way. 250 square feet. And I guess, you know, the breakdown is already there. I don't, you know, this was already, these specials and everything have already been assessed. You know, that's already been figured out. It's not for us to change that. You know, that's what was done by the assessment committee and the county, you know, that's what they came up with. I mean, we can't be changing those now. They're already done. Is that correct? And you're on the assessment committee, so.
Right, but if it wasn't on the tax rolls, right?
It was to the Sioux Line Railroad.
Which it shouldn't have been.
It shouldn't have
because
been.
That's what I'm saying.
So it's gonna go
So,
to him, right? You're right.
that's
Well,
why,
yeah.
that's why we need it correct. So if we,
Oh, absolutely.
if we're going back to
Yeah.
2000, you know, so it's correct, so
Yep.
we can get everything straight.
Oh, absolutely. Well, that's the idea, yeah. And so okay, so I'm gonna make a motion that we continue the lease for 5 years, you know, with the, you know, as long as Darryl knows that, you know, we're gonna be keeping a good eye on the property, make sure that it's, you know, cleaned up and mowed and stuff like that. And also, I think we'll have to modify this lease to deal with the taxes.
Okay.
And between you and Rainey, you can get that figured out. It would be the, was it $500, right, per year?
That's what the amount is right now.
Right,
You want
so
to add
it
language
would be
to
the-
include.
Right, we'll have to add language to include the taxes. That sounds,
Okay.
okay, that's my motion.
It'd be $705.57 a year.
Well, it's probably gonna change every year. So it will have to be, you know, written that you will have to cover the taxes every year. A new lease will have to be drawn up. And I don't know if the railroad gets a break on taxes or not, I have no idea. You know, as compared to someone else. I'm thinking they do. Anyway, that's my motion.
I'll second.
Okay, now we'll move on. More discussion?
Darryl, Mike, yeah,
Okay, maybe can I just ask one question?
Absolutely.
You asked for the 205, where did you come up with that 205 though?
that 205 is your, that's the
the tax and the specials, it's actually $215.12. But if you pay it off February 15th, you minus $9.55.
This is from the courthouse, from the Frank County rates, it's the Sioux line, and that's the lease number. So you guys.
Yeah, I just wanna make sure these numbers are right.
The one reason I'm bringing this up is, so that's on paying just based on the executive opinion, so.
Is that? Yeah.
So, okay, I'll just.
Oh, well, you know what? That's what he's paying to Canadian Pacific.
I'm paying property taxes to Canadian Pacific.
That's the exact same figure.
Okay.
So,
For that figure. In addition to their, lease agreement as well. So they pay their lease and the property taxes. I was trying to clarify if it's the same one or not.
We'll want to copy that same language then, however, that's in your lease with them, we can copy that same language to include that same.
Well, if he's already paying it to them, why does he gotta pay it back to us again?
Well,
Yeah,
Because they're gonna
he's
take
already
it off
paying
of
it.
the, they're
'Cause
gonna
they
take
don't
it
own
off
it
the
anymore.
sewer line and gonna put it on ours.
now, see, they don't own it anymore.
But, and I'll admit I'm confused here too, Larry, but I do still lease that other portion that they do own.
Right.
So I don't know where those taxes, specifically are for. It is, I would assume it's two parcels, right?
Yeah, because what Ryan said, that it's now this 814001, 4 zeros and a 4 and then 000, that's where the building is being attached to, is that lease with the Sioux Line Railroad. So then he said he will move that from onto the city property.
So that's this one right here, you're saying, right?
Yes, yep.
Okay. So that includes the building that I'm
Yep,
referring to
so
now?
this is the building, here, this is his paperwork that he sent me. So this building, you know, this is his paperwork, is on that particular parcel. And then he gave me the tax statement for that particular parcel. And so that's where they're coming up with that figure.
Okay. So when this lease is done, then, am I correct? I just pay you the tax, and then this one goes away?
That's what
Yeah.
he made it sound like, yeah.
Okay.
We'll have to work out the details, but yeah, basically it's the lease and then the tax. Does that make sense to everybody?
No, why don't we just sell them that piece of land it's on?
We can't, because when it was originally deeded to the city, it states that the property shall forever be restricted to the use for public utilities, public park, and recreational trail, except that tenants and lessees of the grantor, as of the date hereon, may continue occupying the premises as long as their leases are current. Upon termination, we can't lease it to somebody else. Then it goes away. Then it has to be public utilities, public park, and recreational trail. That's right in the deed, so, yeah, it would be easy to sell it, but we can't.
Can we get them to change the deed?
Well,
I mean, for that little square footage area what that building is on? Does that go all the way from the railroad down to the road where it goes down? I mean, does that meet up to there, or you just...
The part that I pay lease on is much, it's barely larger than the footprint of the building, realistically. That is all city property there, minus a little bit of railroad property.
basically pays on this much right here, right there.
So, you know, in other words, I mean, if we can go back again to change that deed where we could sell that little square footage with that building and the rest of it that we could keep, because we ain't never gonna put a park right there. You know, public utilities, they can still run them no matter what.
Right. You know, that's something I guess that could be looked into.
Well, that's would probably be a bigger headache, but I mean, this is just as big as a headache. I mean, for what, 2,000 square feet of land, and we're arguing over where the taxes are gonna go and who's gonna pay, I mean,
Well, I don't think we're arguing, it's just.
no, I'm
you know,
discussing, I mean, you-
right.
I didn't mean it like that.
I think the point is, you know, he wants to keep leasing the area for the building, because he stores stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's, you know, where we're at. So, but in order to keep leasing it, we need to do another lease agreement. And, you know, in the future, if somebody wants to contact the railroad and see what that would take, then that would be fine. But I think for now, to keep leasing it, we have to have this agreement.
Oh, yeah, I mean, we have to go this, but I'm just saying,
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
just, yeah.
It'll be a lot easier once we get everything straight. It was kind of jumbled up and we needed to straighten it out.
Right.
Back in the day, there was a little bit more confusion because there used to be two buildings.
Yeah.
Darrell had one tore down, which made this lease a lot easier to figure out. And then what Larry stated is etched in stone about, you're gonna have to go, it could open up a whole can of worms on park property or
Right.
city property.
Right.
If this was the easiest way, and Darrell and David Lindell and I sat down and figured out a fair agreement.
Yeah.
As long as Darrell keeps leasing it, what he wants to do, it keeps that contract going. And, but like Larry stated, as soon as he stops it, and then that property would go back to the city.
Yeah, then it's done.
Yeah.
George,
So-
I pay back.
any other discussion?
Is that kind of an issue with a 5-year lease? I think that should be looked at annually. You know, to sign into a 5-year lease for $500 a year, what do we know what the price, that the specials taxes are gonna do
Well,
3-4 years later?
that's gonna be above the 500, the taxes,
Okay.
yeah. That's what we had just talked about.
I'd just rather see a 1-year lease, than, you know, reviewed annually. It's more from the standpoint that, okay, say we, you do it, and all of a sudden it becomes a collection for more junk.
Well, see, if that's the case, then, you know, the lease specifies that you have to meet these conditions, otherwise, you know, we can terminate the lease. You know, if you read the lease.
So what was the motion again? I forgot already.
If you have it written down.
Motion to continue the lease as long as the lot is kept up and he will cover the taxes, is what I wrote down. We'll have to put some language in there for that.
Right.
Now we need a second, right?
We already had it in a while, or,
Oh, there is one, okay.
you know, the thing is, on a yearly lease, it's really hard if you need, like, to paint or put in a door. You know, it's hard to put out an expense for a 1-year lease. Any other discussion? Colin?
Yes.
Kit?
All right.
Mike?
Aye.
Rob?
Aye.
Yes. You do. You'll have to work out that with Randy. Okay, liquor license renewal, American Legion. All looks like the same as last year. Anybody want to make a motion to renew the American Legion?
I make a motion that we renew the American Legion liquor license.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Colin?
Yes.
Kit?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Rob?
Aye.
Yes. Okay, liquor license, Captain?
So moved.
I'll second.
Okay. Discussion? Colin?
Yes.
Kit?
Yes.
Mike?
Aye.
Well,
Aye.
yes. Riverboat Saloon?
I'll move to approve the Riverboat Saloon liquor license.
I'll second that.
Discussion? Colin?
Yes.
Kit?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Well,
Aye.
yes. Center base?
So moved.
I second.
Discussion? Colin?
Yes.
Kit?
Yes.
Okay, Mike?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, there you go. Okay, and, Berna,
Did we skip Super Pumper?
oh,
Super
sorry,
Pumper, yeah.
Super Pumper. Thanks, sorry.
So moved on that one.
I second.
Discussion? Colin?
Yes.
Kit?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Oh,
Aye.
yes. I scratched off one too many here. Bernarlo Enterprises.
What is that?
Yes, sir.
Express.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I'll move, we accept, them. Bernarlo Enterprises.
One second.
Discussion? Colin?
Yes.
Kit?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Well,
Aye.
yes. Okay, special assessment
Oh, did you do
assistant.
Interbase?
Yep,
Oh, you
Yep.
did, okay, that's, sorry.
I jumped the boat on that.
Yeah, I see that now, so sorry.
Special assessment assistant application. So we have an application. The deadline was September 30th. So he did not have it in time. Personally, I think we have a deadline for a reason.
Were there any extenuating circumstances why he didn't happen that we're aware of?
Not that I was aware of. Came in.
You know, the thing is, what we do, when we do on these, is when we divvy out the specials, or for a new project, everybody on that, concerning that project gets a letter. And they are told, you know, that you can apply for this. Well, they only get a letter 1 year, and then, you know, it is their responsibility to come back and ask for this. I mean, we can't send everybody in town a letter asking them if they want, you know, to apply for this. I mean, they have to take some responsibility for themselves. So it's my opinion that we do nothing with this, because it didn't make the deadline. When did we get this, Randy?
He came in, let me just find this. November 20th.
Yeah. And that's like, you know, 2 months late, almost. So I will move that we deny this application on the grounds that it wasn't in time.
I'll second that.
Discussion? Colin?
Yes.
Kit?
Aye.
Mike?
No.
Well,
Aye.
yes. Okay. Forestry Board appointment? So Rainey wasn't, there's been a vacancy for quite a while, correct?
There has been, yes. So they found this person that was willing to sit on the board. Per the ordinance, it has to be approved by are appointed by the mayor. The term of the 5 persons to be appointed by the mayor shall be for 3 years. And then it says, except that if there's a vacancy, his successor shall be appointed for the unexpired portion of the term, which I don't know what that is at this point for that position.
Do you know what that is, Tom?
What was that now?
Do you know, is this, do you know what how long the term for this position is? Okay, something we can find out, I'm sure, so look back in the records and we can find out. So. Okay, I will move that we, appoint Carla Klein to the Forestry Board.
Second.
Discussion? Colin?
Yes.
Kit?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Well,
Aye.
yes. Okay, League of Cities Alcohol and Drug Testing Program.
So we got this, in the mail. We're currently a part of this program, so this is just a renewal. The only thing that's changed is now, it's
Thank you, Tom.
positions that, a safety-sensitive position. If employees' duties are fraught with such risk of injuries to others, that they're being a part of this, so, the staff wouldn't need to be a part of this. And the charge is $60 per employee. So we would have 2.
Do we have this in our handbook?
There is some language in there, but I don't know what it is. Do you guys remember?
I don't believe we do. It says here, prior to requiring employees to participate in a random drug and alcohol testing program, cities should ensure that their employee handbook contains a drug and alcohol testing policy. I think we need to look into that.
And the 2 are for Brian and Adam, right? Because Brian has a commercial license.
Well, before it was all our employees. I think it was 5, except for the, Julie. And I don't know, I mean,
Because I think it says here, drivers driving with commercial driver's license or a US DOT license. So, both of them would be under that, right?
does that say that in this paper, or does it say it somewhere else?
No, it's on the random drug testing, alcohol testing program contract. It's on the iPad, is where I
Should be on here too. Oh, there you go.
But that says, the following positions are illustrative of positions that courts have found met requirements to be considered safety sensitive. That's what they're talking
Right.
about. That's just not limiting to that.
What?
But even if Rainey or these guys, if they're driving down to on company time, they're still, if they're getting paid by the city to go down to a meeting, that's our responsibility. You get in an accident, you know,
Right.
that'll still come back to us.
I just think that if we're gonna do it for one, we should do it for all. Which all or none, not
Mhm.
what I'm thinking.
Does this also cover temporary summer employees?
I believe not.
Because the only equipment to me would be classified as safety sensitive.
The thing about this is, you could be in this for 10 years and never get tested. You know, that's the thing about this, is
It's random.
it's random. So, I think we really need to check our handbook on this before we do anything. You know? Because this is from the League of Cities, and they say, you know, we should have it in our handbook, and I think it's pretty important. When they say stuff like that, it's probably a good idea. you know, did they give a time frame for when this has to be in? I don't think, I'm not sure if we research it, we can still get to it later, at a later date.
So if it is not in our handbook, we need to draft something together.
Probably. Yeah. I think we should table this for now. Everybody agree with that, or?
Yep.
Kip, anything?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We'll table that. No one's good with that? Can I ask, what does the county do? Do they have that?
Just for the, highway department, because they're DOT, but nobody knows.
Not the sheriff's department? Those jokes. Okay, coal conversion county's membership, table from last meeting. I talked a little bit with Rainey about this, we both kind of agree that it's probably not worth the money. You know, we haven't, I think, we haven't been in it for the last, 3 years or 4 years, so. So unless somebody thinks we should be in it, we'll just kind of say no on that one. You know, unless somebody wants to make a motion to be in it. If there's no motion, it just goes away. Okay. North Dakota Rural Water Systems Association membership. That I think is important. Colin, I think you would agree with that?
Yes.
They, our guys have used them quite a bit in different times, you know, to find, leak detection, different things like that, and.
We've got a lot of good resources available
Yes, they do.
that we use.
So Colin, are you gonna make a motion?
Yep, I'll make a motion that we, pay the 2019 North Dakota Rural Water membership fees.
$240.
$240.
I'll second that.
Okay, any other discussion on that? Colin?
Yes.
Kit?
All right.
Mike?
Aye.
Oh,
Aye.
yes. NRG quote?
Okay, so as you are aware, our server crashed. They were able to restore our data. And they determined during that whole time that, we don't need a server. So this quote is a quote for 2 new computers. They've currently put everything on my computer. It's acting as the server. They put in an additional hard drive and put our data on that hard drive.
That backs up like every
Every
day?
hour on the hour.
Okay. So what are we looking at? Are we looking at, which figure here? Because there's like computer replacement, and then there's this one, server alternate. Okay, that we don't need, right? And there's a couple different pages here.
Well, it's a hybrid system is what he told me. So the server alternate is what we're doing right now. So it will include that third piece. It has, that data is a little box, I believe, a device that, will have the data on it, and then it'll be backed up to the cloud. So that little device, that data 2 terabyte NAS device, is going to be like the server, kind of, you know, like it's going to be on that device. And then we will access that device, but it's all backed up to the cloud. So this Microsoft 365 Business will be different for us because that's going to be like to the cloud.
Do you think of Be issues with that, or you think it'll be fine? Hopefully.
I'm not an IT person, so I don't really know, but
So what's the total we're looking at here? Are we looking at both these figures, or all these figures together, or?
30, I didn't do the math, sorry. Let's do it.
$68.24, the one, and then plus another $158.
There's also this other one for $36.99. Right? Or,
I thought that was added on.
That's the
Look on
labor.
page 4.
The pages, I can't tell. Page,
Four.
67 on the pad there.
Oh, yes, there you go.
24,
Page 4, so
Yeah.
68, 24, 92.
oh, that includes this
And
other?
then another 158 on that yet too.
Oh, I see, oh, okay, I see that.
Yeah.
Okay, I see. 1, 2, 3.
Now-
Okay,
But we had budgeted for new computers, right?
We budgeted for a new computer in 18, and then we budgeted for a new computer in 19, and a server in 19, because our server was, we knew was gonna be obsolete and no longer being, what's the word? Updated, or,
Service.
service, there you
there
go.
you go.
Now, this 158.75, that's monthly or yearly?
I believe it's monthly.
That's recurring expense.
Right.
So,
I just,
you know, we are so lucky that we had switched to NRG when we did, or we'd be absolutely screwed. We lost everything from way back when, so we were. So we have more than enough in the budget between 18 and 19 to cover this, correct?
Make a motion to get it.
Yep.
I second it.
Okay. Any other discussion? Do you know the time frame on this, or?
So I asked him, and he said it's gonna be based on how fast Dell can get them computers. He doesn't know, but he would say with, sometime January, February.
All right. Anybody? Colin?
Yes.
Kip?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Oh,
Aye.
yes. Okay, Memorial Hall front doors.
Now, I just got a quote, because we're talking about putting the locks in. And you looked at it, Larry, on the deal, and I just wanted a reference to know if they come in and say, these locks won't work, or the doors are completely shot. I know they're war, but I don't know how long they'll go. It was just so everybody has a reference, so we know. So, I believe they're locking better now?
Yeah, I fixed the one over on the west side.
Right.
Yeah, it was way out of adjustment. Before you feel the wiggle open, you can't do that anymore.
Right.
So, and then I got the one on this side closed properly, so,
So this is just information, more or less.
yeah.
So,
And I think, we talked about those fobs. I think we need to research this and the fobs and everything all at once, and maybe come up with a plan.
right, especially if they come in and say these doors won't work.
Right. So those guys never, when they quoted the fobs, they never did see what we had, correct?
They had
They saw
pictures.
pictures.
Okay, so they would have to come and look at it.
Mhm.
Okay, sure, perfect. Okay.
Then while we're on there, last meeting we had tabled the internet. Are we going to talk about that later on? In here?
That's coming up.
Okay,
Yeah, it's coming up.
okay, that's fine.
Okay. Okay. Memorial Hall floor coverings. Okay, we had a question on why we're not using the Memorial Hall floor covering. At our July 23rd commission meeting, we were talking with the Legion, and boy, we discussed on how, you know, they're a tripping hazard and how dangerous it is, you know, for them, people keep tripping on them and everything else. But we never did make any kind of a motion to not use them. And I do know that Julie likes it better not using them, because I talked to her. So I'm gonna make a motion that we do not require the use of the floor cover for function.
Can I add that if we could sell them?
Well, let's bring that up
Okay,
after this one.
okay.
How would that be?
That'll be,
Okay.
that's fine.
I will second that.
Okay, any discussion on that?
There's some events that you really need covers to have down.
Like what?
Well, carnival or something like that could be spilled or whatever, or some, I would rather not sell them, just have in case we need them for some function.
The
Otherwise,
thing,
we're gonna have to buy them again or rent them.
yeah, the thing is though, if you have a carnival and some older person trips and breaks their leg,
I know,
then what do you do? You
cool,
know?
Yeah. Yeah. What I was, if we sold them, we might be able to get a better machine to clean the floor really well and do more maintenance than trying to work with these coverings.
well, the
Well,
school
cover-
still covers theirs when they do stuff up there, so what's the difference? You know, I just don't, I can't see.
Well, that's their liability, though.
Yeah, I know, but, I don't.
The covering's there to keep the finish of the floor, it ain't there to keep it clean. It's to keep the finish on. And the money that we just spent to go through there and do that and get these and keep that floor up, now we wanna sell and get rid of them? No.
Okay, what about the liability though?
No, just that,
You
doesn't.
know, it's like, you know, I think it was Darryl at that meeting, I think you said, you know, if you have a dance, you can't dance on them, you know? You know.
I don't think they set them up around the dance area, do they? They just,
Oh, cover the whole thing.
Yeah, they cover
Oh,
the
they do
floor.
yet?
Yeah, they cover the whole floor, yeah.
I suppose that's the only way to do it, 'cause they're all one piece.
In it, or where they lap over, if it gets a little curve in it, somebody's gonna trip, real easy. We just came from, my wife and I was in a craft show up in, Marshall, and they had the floor covered there in the gym, and this woman comes over and wham, straight down. She tripped on the pad.
You know, another thing that, as far as me, we have a beautiful floor, why are we hiding it? You know, I mean, I realize it's protected, but that old floor lasted 30 years, 35 years, you know, and that was an old floor when we put it in. You know, now it's refinished. I would think we'd probably get at least a good 20 out of it before it needs to be done again. And if we maintain it, you know, like maybe in 5 years, have them come in and finish it again.
We're behind on the finish already. I think we were told that we were supposed to have already done this, and
Right.
it hasn't been done. So, and
What do
we're.
you mean? It just got done last summer, wasn't it?
Mhm.
It was a few years ago, but a couple of years ago. It was a couple of years ago,
When did the school do theirs, so that's when it got done.
yeah. I think it was a couple of years ago, wasn't it?
It was
15 or 16?
2 years ago, was it?
Yeah. So I think we're fine as far as refinishing it, you know, or putting another coat on it. But we're coming up on it.
That's what they had mentioned to me, that it was supposed to have a second coat.
It doesn't get used like the school, you know.
Right.
I mean, a lot of times, I mean, well, the last year, it hardly got used at all, as long as it was covered up.
Is there any issue with storing those? Do they take up additional space that we could use? And if there isn't, you know, I don't think we necessarily need to sell them.
Not right away.
No, that's what I'm saying, just hang on to them, you know, we paid for them.
Well,
But
and like George said, there might be something where you want to put it down. I mean,
Well,
that
I
is
could-
very possible.
I can see right now, maybe such time if we get that parking lot paved is a different story, but right now, if it's a really muddy mess, something's going on, might be justified putting them down. But, you know, like you, I was at a function a few years ago, elderly lady, same thing, she was walking, tripped on it and went face first into the
Yep.
floor. So they are a very big tripping hazard.
Yeah. So I'm gonna amend my motion, if I may. I'm gonna amend it to, the floor covering, the Memorial Hall floor coverings are not required unless the city specifically states in the contract that they give that person, they have to be used. You know, depending on whatever the situation may be. So who seconded that?
Colin did.
Would you second that
Second that.
amendment?
Okay, so just a clarification for our staff people that are giving those out. When do we have to mandate that to happen? When do we have to modify that agreement to have that in?
Well, it'll depend on what they're doing in there. You know, I think if they're gonna have, I can't imagine what it would be, but,
Donkey basketball.
Who's gonna make the determination of
Yeah.
who
Right.
has to do it? Are you gonna check the calendar and you're gonna decide, okay, yes, no, or is it gonna be a commission decision? Or
good question. I think that's one of those things where, if the situation comes up, we'll have to deal with it, you know? Whether we call a meeting or whatever, or if we absolutely know that there's gonna be goats in there or something, you know, for Santa Day, maybe. That would probably be a good time to put them down, you know? So,
I think that's an idea for next year.
Yeah, it'd be warmer for you, wouldn't it?
okay, any other discussion? Collins?
Yes.
Kit?
No.
Mike?
Aye.
Well,
Aye.
yeah. Internet service. In City Hall and Memorial Hall.
Okay, so you would ask me to look into, the internet service for both places. So the spreadsheet that I gave you, because we have telephone service already with West River, that section below where it says West River, those are additional to what, you know, if we bundled with our phone, these would be the additional charges. Midco, we currently.
Are you looking at this page?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you.
Yep.
Yep.
So those charges for each of those different options would be additional to what we're already paying for our telephone. So you can't look at that as being, just internet. It's in addition to what we're already paying. So you can't really compare apples to apples, is kind of where I'm getting at, I guess. Currently, the City Hall, we have a 5-year contract, so we're at that $75 with Midco. That will expire in 2020. I wrote that down. July 16 of 2020. There's language in there if we want to terminate it, but I would have to call them to see what it would cost, because it says, you know, you have to pay what's left of your contract, and some of that kind of language is in there, so I'd have to see what exactly that cost would be, if that's the direction you want us to go with that one.
So West River, you have the 500 megabytes, 500 megabytes, 6750. But then we already have phone there, so that would just be on top of it. And there's no contract on that, or is it?
Well,
Do we need something that fast? For the, you know, the Memorial Hall?
so if you look at that email from Jeff McDowell, so he's with NRG, his suggestion is to go with West River, the 100 down and the 10 up for that 3250. And he said if you think the bandwidth and internet speed is too slow, just increase to the next level. That's his recommendation. You see that there, Mike?
Yeah, because you're not having any trouble here with the upload speed, are you?
No, not currently.
Okay.
With Midco, no.
I'm no computer whiz, so I'm not a good, person to answer that. Who's the computer guy? Or gal? Nobody?
I think we should just go with the recommendation that they gave with the 100 megabytes download and 10 megabytes upload for now.
What do we currently have?
There
At
is
the
none.
Memorial Hall, nothing.
Oh, it's a, you know, no, but here.
Right, currently, we have the 75 for Midco, like I said, we're in a contract with them until July
So,
16, 2020,
so right now we're 75 down, 7 up.
correct.
Which is
We're at-
really small.
We're at 75.
Well, we can always increase it later
Right.
if we find more, you know.
Right. Not sure what the usage will be at the Memorial Hall besides that key fob system.
Well, you know, if somebody rents it as a presentation and they need to access the internet, whatever, you know. Yeah, I agree with the, 3250. Well, Mr. Buildings and Grounds?
Yes, I make a motion that we go with the 100 megabyte download and a 10 megabyte upload and see how that works for us, for the Memorial Hall.
Yeah,
Maybe a second that?
okay. Any other discussion?
How many routers is that gonna take? They're gonna have to wire the whole downstairs and upstairs and everything? How much more is that gonna be?
They have the fiber optics in there, right?
Yeah.
Well,
So-
to it, you know, they haven't hooked it, I mean, it's not.
Well,
hooked up.
the phone line's hooked up,
Right.
which is fiber optics
Right.
right now. So it's just put their router in it.
You know, they have that thing now where they say,
Full home guarantees.
yeah, access, or whole place guarantee. You know, they spent a ton of time at my house and it didn't cost me anything.
Yeah.
I was there for like several hours. And,
But yours is all hooked up already?
yep,
Mhm.
no, I just need a computer that will. So. Okay, any other discussion? Colin?
Yes.
Kit?
No.
Mike?
Aye.
No?
Aye.
Yes.
Are you guys gonna do password or public? I know that was kind of a debate last time you guys talked about it.
They have the private and a guest when they set them up. It's just whether we get a IP or a password for it.
Good question. I'm not an internet guy, so I don't know. I think that's something we'll definitely have to decide on. Yeah. Good question, though.
You don't have to do a Wi-Fi when you're down there. Because taxpayers are paying for all this. I'll be down if I come down there and I gotta come over here and try to get a code from you to use the internet over there. When it's all our dollars doing it. Right?
Well, isn't it
Or is
kind of
it
like,
wrong?
and correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't it kind of like a hotel where you just have a password and
Mhm.
type it in?
A guest, yeah.
Yeah,
Spell Washburn backwards.
or something, yeah.
You know, it's,
Yeah,
you know,
once you know it, so.
exactly.
Yeah. I mean, I imagine it can be changed, but I don't know.
Well, how do they do it at the rest areas? I don't know. Like out here, they got that sign that says Wi-Fi, you know.
I think yeah, I think you're right.
Maybe it's just public.
It just picks it, your phone just picks it up and you automatically go in there, right?
Yeah, and it's not secured.
Yeah, secure, that's right.
You know, they can deem it you better, your phone can push across parking lots.
But normally it'll tell you it's not secured. That's why we'll have one password that's secured and one password that is general public.
Why?
That's how I believe that's how they set them up, because if the city uses it for a key fob, that way they can't access it, I think.
Okay, well, I mean,
You know,
it's something we need to check into, but yeah,
Well, that's
right.
how ours are at work.
If that's,
One is
if that's what we need to do, yeah.
yeah, for the main download is they give you two different numbers.
Okay,
Is
yeah,
it still at the courthouse? Oh, I know
There's
they have
two.
a guest and a
oh, there is?
private.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I think you
that,
have to have passwords for both of them though.
That's what I was wondering,
Think.
because I think last time you gave me a password for even the guest one.
Yep,
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure, yep.
yeah, you have to.
And one of them is only on from certain hours, the other one's on 24/7.
Oh, okay.
So one of them they turn off, I believe at like 5 or something. So, yep.
So you're a go-to person. IT now. Okay, sounds good. Clean electric streetlight?
Yeah, so you asked me to, get hold of McLean Electric for a
Yep.
quote for Ivy Drive and Garden Drive.
Yep.
He called me back and said that they can only put it on, the north side along Garden Drive,
Okay.
and their approximation is $2,064.
So, is that the winter price, or is it cheaper in the summer?
Well, I didn't ask that price. I didn't ask that when I was getting that price.
We talked about a grant or something maybe for lighting to go to school. Was that looked into or no?
That Tana was talking about that. Right, yeah. Well, at least we have a price, so, yeah, maybe we can get something there.
Yeah, 'cause she can't do a grant without having
Approval.
price, and
Oh,
prices
price, yeah.
for,
To try to write a grant.
Well, I think we need to table that till, they're not gonna put it in till spring anyway, I mean, or summer, so, yeah. Okay. City employee reviews and raises?
Colin,
Oh, I wasn't paying attention.
do you wanna do this one?
City employees review and raises?
Oh. Noel and I did reviews here last week, yeah.
Yep.
Last week. Reviews have been completed. The cost of living and merit increases. This is what's being proposed, if you want to take a copy and pass it down.
Pass the other one to Randy.
Sorry?
Pass the other one to Randy.
Oh. Just want to go through and read these, or how do you want to handle this?
Yep, go ahead.
Okay. What we did for cost of living, typically on average, for the most part, it's a percentage each year. Don't necessarily like the idea of a flat percentage, because somebody making obviously less money is gonna get a lesser percentage than somebody making more. So to try and keep it fair, what we did is we took the 5 city employees, added up their hourly wage, divided by 5, we come up with an average per hour wage of $22.90. 3% of that, which is roughly the cost of living, rounded up, comes to 69 cents per hour cost of living increase. As far as the merit increases, based on reviews and wage scale, number of things we looked at. What we're looking at doing, I'll just go down the list, read each one. Rainey will get bumped in $1 an hour. Jackie, since she's only been here 3 months, we're gonna hold that one for now. Brian will get increased to $30 an hour, 25 cents. Adam will go up $1 an hour. And Julie will go up 25 cents an hour. So, looking at most of them, they took a nice little increase, I think, with the cost of living the way it is, try and get some of the wages up where I feel they should be. I think this is a fair assessment of cost of living and wage increases. So, I guess I'm going to make a motion that we approve these wages as stated here.
Starting in
Starting,
January 1.
Pardon?
Starting January 1.
Yep, effective January 1, 2019.
Okay. So what it is, it's the cost of living and merit. That's what it is, add it together. Okay.
I'll second.
Okay. Question? Discussion?
I think at 25 cents an hour for Brian might be a little low.
Well, I don't know that if there's a wage or a salary scale. Kinda looked at some of the other towns around comparable, trying to get an idea too, so. You know, at what point do you keep just bumping somebody up also?
How many years you been here, Brian?
25.
I guess,
There's,
go ahead. What I kinda look at is, you know, you gotta try and get some of these closer together too, you know? That's kinda what I look at a little bit.
yeah, I guess I look at, you know, not necessarily seniority. Doesn't always mean a higher wage. I look at the work that's being done, same responsibilities, type of thing. Is what I use into my consideration for some of this.
I wouldn't be opposed if we would increase Brian's, I guess.
Any other discussion? Well, we have a motion for this, so, and we have a second, so we're gonna vote on this one. And if it doesn't pass, then we can go from there. So, Colin?
Yes.
Good.
No.
Mike?
No.
No?
Just say no.
I'll say yes. So, motion failed? Okay.
I'd like to make a motion that, I don't want to override anybody. I think Turk should get just a little bit more, but I also feel a little bit more towards Adam because he has to do all the water certifications, and that carries a lot of responsibility. I don't know how we can get closer together, but I was thinking that maybe what we should do is give Turk another 25 cents, so it'd be 50 cents, and give Adam another 50 cents to get him closer because of the certifications that he has to go through and keep up. Because that's an intricate part of our city, is the water.
Is that how that works, is once he has them, he has to continue to keep those certifications, or once you have them, you have them?
You have to earn so many credits per year.
And
Keep
keep
that
up with.
certification?
Correct. Yeah, and there's, you know, continuous training all the
Mhm.
time, because technology changes and rules change and everything changes, so.
And he's the only one that has it, right?
You have,
I don't have the classification he has,
right,
yeah.
You have some,
hey, some.
you have some,
You have some.
right.
Right.
Well, you have to have some to run the plant, so, yeah. So is that your motion then?
That is my motion.
So the motion stays the same except,
Another 25 for Turk and another 50 cents for Adam.
okay, otherwise the cost of living, everything stays?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Just trying to get those a little bit closer.
Okay. Okay, we have a motion, we have a second.
I will second that.
Okay, any further discussion on that?
So you're gonna put Adam up $2.19?
No, Adam, okay, what was he?
Or is that an hour increase already?
He's at a one.
Plus the 69 cents for cost of living, so it's $1.69 an hour raise already. And you wanna give him 50 cents more? So that puts him at $2.19 more.
Okay, yeah.
And you wanna give Turk another 25 cents?
Mm-hmm. And then he's getting that cost of living increase too.
Any other discussion? Okay, Colin?
Yes.
Kit?
No.
Mike?
Aye.
Well,
Aye.
yes. Okay.
Turk, what's your title here?
The guy listed as superintendent.
Yeah. What I was getting by that, I guess, you're never gonna get the same as, never gonna get close to them two. $4 an hour difference between the two of them, you're never gonna get close to them with a superintendent. And
Well,
what's Adam, is he a superintendent also?
Yes.
So we have two superintendents working here.
Well, somewhere down, what it used to be, like when I was here, I mean, I was public works superintendent, and
So you were the head guy.
basically, I was in charge of everything, water, streets, everything. Now, you know, Brian's his title is public works superintendent, but Adam is basically, water treatment superintendent, because he holds all the classifications. Somewhere down the
Right.
line, it's
But he's
changed,
the
and I don't know where it changed.
He's the superintendent of this town, so Adam should still report to him. So what I'm just saying,
There's a great deal of humbleness you'll have to do that, though.
well,
Right.
he should have to, 'cause you're the superintendent,
Right.
and that's how it should be, regardless what he wants to bite down and just has to do it.
Right.
That's what it is.
Right.
That's why I'm getting at. The raise I don't feel is fair because of that right there. You're the superintendent, you got your years and your time in here, and we just gave him more money than what you deserve for being here. If you wanna put a raise at $2.19, they both get $2.19, is how I felt about it.
Okay.
Or you should've got a little bit more because you are the superintendent of this town. That's how I feel.
Want you to update? Oh, sorry, employee Christmas gifts? I move to give the 5 employees $100 in Washburn bucks for Christmas gifts.
Second.
Colin?
Yes.
Right.
Mike?
Aye.
Well, yes. Well, you need to update, it's not here. Delinquent water bills collections,
So there's just an updated list there for you to look at. It's really,
it's come a long way.
it's come a long ways. With our server episode that we had, we've kind of been dealing with other things, haven't really, haven't had time to research anymore about, Colin asked me to look into like a collection agency. I haven't had time to do that, so, really don't have anything else to really report on it, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, it's gotten reduced down quite a bit from where they were.
Not a lot. And that was just for our information, correct? Okay, Leader News wants to know if we want to do a Christmas ad again. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year from the city staff, city worker, and staff and commission. You know, like I said last year, right? It's basically taxpayers wishing themselves a Merry Christmas. So I don't know if, unless somebody wants to make a motion to do it.
How much does that cost?
I know it's less than 50. I don't know exactly what it usually runs. Usually the little ads are 30 or 40 bucks a day.
It says $45 here.
Okay.
I just saw that.
That's from Don, listen to him, because that's the
Right.
show.
Okay, nobody wants the motion, then we'll move on.
I'll make a motion. I'll pay for it. I don't wanna hear it. I'm gonna hand that to her, whoever needs it.
Well, you don't have
Yeah.
to make a motion if you pay.
This is wonderful picture, just throwing money at the report.
You are a lucky spot over there.
So you get it donated by us, by the way.
Yeah.
Put a box here.
No,
Well, thank you, Kip.
if not, it'll be like the candy thing. I said candy.
Jasper?
Eric's on military leave, so he gets to put up with me this month, so he's learning to fly a different kind of helicopter with some medical equipment in it, so in a much warmer climate. So. Last month we were asked to update the estimate for the intake site on what we'll call the south side of the river, on the other side of the river. So in your packet, I had put together, I think on your iPads, have summary that looks something like this.
Keep this on paper.
Oh, I didn't meet the deadline, I guess.
That's okay.
So really, we have two halves to the page. One sort of summarizing where you were with the north side and the costs associated with that, and then on the bottom half is the south side. So just to kind of recap on the north side intake, or on the existing side, the total project cost was about $3.84 million. You have your 65% State Water Commission grant. You have your FEMA grant, and that would have left the local funds portion of that at about $480,000. So if we look, so just keep that in mind now as we look at the south side. So we went to the south side. We looked at the site. The other thing we did is we met with the landowner, really just to see or gauge their willingness to sell that land to the city, and they were open to it. We didn't talk dollars at that time, but we just really wanted to gauge whether or not if they were willing. We put together an estimate, total project cost of about $4.03 million. See, it's pretty close to the north side estimate. However, I do have an asterisk there, and it's not meant to be an asterisk in fine print. So I do want to state that the total project cost, we took out the backup generator cost and sort of exchanged those costs for the redesign fees. To at least keep the project a little bit closer. We would have full intention of still bidding that as an alternate, but just so you're aware that they're not completely apples to apples. So you still have your 65% grant, you still have your FEMA grant. The local funds end up going up a little bit, as you can see. One thing Larry had asked me to show, and that's at the bottom there, is so you have a local fund, local portion that the city has to pay, and the funds that the city has already incurred is $176,000 to date. So just keep that in mind. You've almost incurred almost a third of what the city portion is already. So Larry and Colin and I met last week to kind of go over all this and just sort of decide what direction to take with this, and really landed on two options. The city decides to stop what they're doing and do nothing, or continue on designing and bidding a south side intake project to continue using the grant money that you have available. If you stop and do nothing, you will have to give your grant money back. And I should caveat, the stop and do nothing probably wouldn't really be a stop and do nothing. You would probably have to look at doing something at some point. You could look at connecting to the River Valley Supply Project down the road. So it's not necessarily a do nothing, but that's probably many years down the road, and you'd have to go back to the drawing board of looking for funding for that type of project. So I guess out of our meeting last Thursday, we recommend continuing with the project and on the south side, given the overall project costs are relatively close in the grand scheme of estimating projects at the $4 million level. I guess with that said, I will just stop and stand for any questions. If I missed anything from our meeting, help me out.
At our meeting, we discussed, I think it was, if we go to design and bidding, we figured, what did we figure out? We would probably be, our share would be another, about 85,000 or something to get to that point?
Yeah, 94, roughly.
Was it 94? Okay. But at least then we would know where we're at. And these bids could be way low, they could be way high. When we bid the 2016 street project, the bids came in $1 million under projection. It all depends how hungry people are when they come out,
So with estimating, so just so you know, with estimating, when we talk about contractors, we have asked for some quotes from contractors for portions of this work. I've asked 3 to 5 different engineers in our company to give me their ideas of costs for this. So really at this point, it depends on, like Larry's saying, how hungry the contractors are at the time of bidding, and we can keep trying to estimate things, but we would never know until we actually bid it. So in the implementation schedule there, I put in bold the city decision to award, and that would come in June of next year. At that point you could decide if you wanted to continue on and actually construct it.
I have a question now. On the south side is where the main one's going to be. Are we still going to be able to use the north side if we had to?
Yep.
So
one,
basically we're looking at multi-ports technically.
Yeah.
Have you ever looked into more ports to that besides just the south one and the north one? Just for ideas.
Well, we kind of did that with the first design, and now there's a big sandbar going right through the middle, so
that's why I'm asking.
We feel good about having the one on the north side and the one on the south side and being able to provide water.
And they'll work together.
And and absolutely, we would keep the existing one in service.
We keep that in service and then, use it occasionally to make sure that everything still runs good and stuff, so there's a good backup,
Yeah, because of what I'm wondering, let's say in 10 years, all of a sudden something changes. And as well as I do, everything can change. It may not. Will the system be able to go to another port if we had to? So we would have 3 ports, overall. The system can be added to, right? Instead of just 2, so we could go and block off one and pick up a different one at a further date, or hook into this other, if they would ever hook into that deal. Okay, just so we have some expansion capabilities. Okay.
I would say yes and no on that. I mean, if you put an intake over there, that's where the intake is.
Right.
You know, and we have an intake here, it's not like you can move it or whatever, right? Or,
As long as you don't limit yourself on elevation, you
Well,
could
yeah,
put something
yeah,
in out
elevation,
further.
Yeah, someplace
You could come
else.
in and bore a line out further.
yeah, that's true.
But that's what we're hampered with the existing one, is it's not deep enough to do anything with.
That's why I was asking, just to see.
You know, Colin and I did talk a little bit about, you know, funding of this extra. You know, we have that surge money that we've been saving for this project, you know, which we would use to stick into this anyway. And, these figures come out of the total cost. It's not like the total cost plus, you know, what we're doing now. This, you know, everything we've spent so far comes off the top. So we do have some money, you know, in surge that, you know, rather than dive into the general fund, there is some money available, so. So I always worry about where we're getting the money from, so. Questions?
So the option on the north side isn't an option anymore?
Not based on where the current river channel is. Unfortunately, that could be different by the end of next flow season, but,
As of today.
as of today. What we do know is that the other side of the channel is a little bit more consistent over the years.
Is there any downside to that side? Not the full.
It was dollars, is really what it came down to.
So we would need a motion to move on with this.
I'll make a motion that we, proceed and have advanced, to design and go out for bids.
I'll second that. Further discussion?
Would that be for construction next year or the year after?
Yeah, so the plan would be to get it bid this spring, get it awarded early to midsummer so that they could start work in 2019 and complete in the first half of 2020. There are some restrictions on when you can work in the river. Really, it's in the fall or the spring, so a lot of that work has to kind of go on during that time anyway.
And most of this is gonna be covered with the surge funding, so
Up to this point, yeah. Well, we've already spent $176,000, and I'm sure that's, I think, come out of the general, or out of one of the water fund maybe, or I'm not sure where it came out. But like I said, we do have money in the surge, which has kind of been earmarked for this, you know, because we knew this was coming, so.
it should be minimal cost to the resident, I guess is kind of where I was going with it.
Right. Well, at this point, yes. I mean, once we know what the bids are, then we have to determine, you know, if we're gonna go ahead with it, and then how, if we need the fund.
Can we ask for more since this has changed because of the river flow through
They already have.
through the,
Yeah, so we asked for additional FEMA money already, and the city was denied. Also, at this point, it would not be in your best interest to go back in and ask the State Water Commission for more money either, mainly because you already have a significant FEMA grant along with their grant funding, and that they're gonna say no.
From what I understand, they like to see a little bit of city, our money going into that too, so. Okay, any other discussion? Yes, George?
With the high water, would that affect when they could operate doing this, work being done?
No,
Okay, I'm just wondering, 'cause sometimes it does.
yeah, I don't think so for what, the type of work that needs to be done. It would be more economical if it could get done during a lower flow time, but I don't even, it's hard for them to even bid it saying it's gonna be a low flow year,
Right.
you know,
You don't know.
you don't know.
I know.
When
they did the research for this eastern project, and they drilled all those wells, you can't explore anything like that. If they can produce that many millions of gallons a day out of them wells, we're sitting pretty close to where those locations are at. Can we avoid the river altogether and tell the Corps to have that nice strip?
So the, two things with that is, we're avoiding the use of well water, and those locations for that geology are further away from where we're trying to do the project currently, which just adds additional cost.
But if the well lasts longer than the river channel,
But if you can't treat the water, then we have to look at the cost of updating the water treatment plant to be able to treat that water. It would be different if it was a softening plant, but it's not. So there were restrictions on kind of where we went with that, because ideally, we would have just went and punched a well over on the other side of the river, just as a supplemental source.
that was years ago, they had to put it on a collection or something they were talking about.
Yeah, and we looked at that as an alternative here, and it was one of the more costly ones to build. In addition to that, you're gonna see a lot of groundwater versus the surface water. Good question. We've kicked the can down many different avenues here, so it's,
Well, can't predict the river.
no.
Anything else?
Do you guys know, how much that land would cost to buy out if we do the Southside project?
We don't know exactly at this time. We did include a cost for the land in the total project cost.
Do you have an extra copy of that for Rochester?
Yeah. Yep.
I'm done now, sorry.
Okay. Anything else? Okay, we, have motion and a second. Colin?
Yes.
Kip?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Oh,
Aye.
yes. Anything else, Bert?
I think that's all I had.
I talked to David Lindell.
Okay.
He, apparently he's had his wife's family had a death, so, but he was working on that letter and blah, blah, blah. So he says he should have it out next week for, the water treatment plant ceiling.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay, portfolios, new business, Colin.
Well, nothing on the water, that, we just talked about that, update. Got a email from Rodney and Sander, we're looking at early January for shipping. Still further out than I wanted, but, I mean.
Not bad, though.
Well, the original quote was 45 to 60 days, mid-December puts us at 60 days, so.
Okay,
If the weather holds out, we should be good.
yeah. Well, we've got the other one.
Yep.
So, okay. Is that it?
Yes.
Kip? Mike?
I'd like I said earlier, think about somewhere in the budget farther down, a machine to clean that floor at the Memorial Hall. Save Julie some time, and see if that'll help take care of it, because I know the schools have them, and they use them a lot, so
I think that would be a good idea.
I think we should look at that.
Okay, yeah, I think that's a good idea. Is that it?
Yep.
Well,
Nothing.
I have nothing. Rainey?
Today I received a letter back from Myron Cullen, who's the person that we addressed the letter to for the cleanup of the Nordquist property. He's spoken with the owner, he indicates the vehicles are properly licensed, he has agreed to abide by the ordinance and will remove his vehicles from the street to the back of his property. He will be seeking assistance from some of his friends in Washburn with the intent to comply with its December 17th date. The letter also indicated or requests general cleanup of the property. Assessment of the property will take place in the spring with cleanup in spring and summer. It's our desire to meet the expectations of the city of Washburn in addition to addressing the concerns of those who leverage the complaint while respecting the interests of Mr. Northwest. So I received that letter today, so.
We had given him till the 17th to get those moved, so, before, without ticketing, so that's good. We're still working on one more up on Uprider Road. I had called him after the last meeting and didn't call me back, so we're gonna send him a letter. But the Sims property also, they cleaned up a good portion of that, so. Brian? Anybody in the public? Okay.
Sure. I had a question.
Okay.
With the new kitchen going into the Memorial Hall, so I'm asking, how does that affect the other activities going in that building? Like the Lions Carnival, basketball, if they have conferences in the hall, is that gonna affect renting the hall? With the, gutting out the kitchen area and that?
The plan is, the actual, cutting out of the kitchen might, for maybe a couple of weeks, affect something, but other than that, it probably really shouldn't. Other than the dirt and the stuff like that. I think as far as rentals, the kitchen upstairs will be closed off until it's complete. But there'll still be a kitchen downstairs if need be. Does that answer your question, or does that?
Yeah, the locations, I had some, or what if there's supposed to be some kind of conference coming, or usually, I don't know if you usually have it at the hall, but I would have.
Yeah,
Is it going to affect them renting it?
Well, we would definitely do everything we could to make sure that it can still be rented. It's just, I don't think there's any, weddings or anything booked until July, so, and we're not going to book, if we book, they'll know that they can't use the upstairs kitchen.
And the other thing would be when they do the electrical, whatever they switch over the mains, there'll be a few, sometime I'm sure.
That's very,
That-
yeah, that's a good
That's
point,
the
yeah.
biggest thing.
And I don't know if they're gonna switch everything over, though.
No, but I mean, I think that could be a couple days in there that,
Yeah. But we'll work with that,
Yep.
make sure that it's.
because otherwise the kitchen is usually sealed off, I'm thinking.
Right, yeah. Anything else?
While I have you guys here, as far as the Christmas ad, do you guys know what you want on it? So Don just gives you Merry Christmas from Kit.
Pass that down.
I didn't know Don gave you anything.
Merry Christmas from Kit. Paid for by Kit.
Yeah, Secret Santa.
You just want to do the same thing?
Sure. 2019 City Commission meeting date. Okay, bring these two together. Kit, usually it's your schedule and I realize that changes some, but.
I got March 11th, I'm on nights at night, so it'd be like the 14th, 15th, it'd be Thursday, Friday of that week, or the following week, Monday or Tuesday, the 18th or 19th.
How about the, fourth, it's fourth maybe a little bit soon, huh? I'd rather not do it at the end of the week, but I mean, if we had to. I don't know what everybody else schedules to. I'd say the 4th or the 18th, or else leave it the way it is. I mean, or something like that.
January 14th, I will not be around
Okay.
in Minneapolis.
Should we start by
Yep.
January?
Yeah, let's start on January 14th, or just go down, okay. So, do you want it changed, or you just aren't gonna be here?
Well, I got managers meetings I won't be back till, what, 16th?
I mean, I hate to get too far into the month, you know what I mean? It's kinda like if we can, put it off like a day or something, it's not a big deal.
Yeah,
But if
and
it-
if it can't move it, that's fine.
I mean, that's, I don't know, that's kind of the way I look at it, but I don't know, I mean, what does everybody else think?
Don't hire me.
Is that the only one, Kit, that is a conflict, or?
No, I got March 11th, May 13th, June 24th, August 26th, and December
Ooh.
9th.
Yeah, well, we don't want you going to that meeting. How likely is your schedule to change? You don't know, do you? Or is that?
Not unless they come up with something and we have to go to a different schedule, but
Okay. All right, so you said March 11th,
yep.
and which other one?
May 13th,
May 13th.
June 24th, August 26th,
26th,
December 9th.
December 9th, so it's 1, 2, wow, that's 5 of them.
About June 10th there.
Oh, June 10th, that's good.
Yeah, June 10th is good.
Okay, like the 24th, that's, and the 26th of August, those are the second meeting of the month, which hopefully shouldn't be too busy.
Right. August 5th too there, I guess I didn't see that, so August 5th is another one.
Holy moly, huh?
He works way too much.
When are you going on vacation? It doesn't look like you are.
Well, usually when I'm on days off, I go up to the oil fields.
So, the August 5th one, the reason that's early is because of preliminary budget. Do you have anything open that's close to August 5th?
Sunday the 4th, Saturday the 3rd, the 8th, I guess that'd be of that week, the 8th and the 9th would be the only 2 days,
And that's like Friday and Saturday.
Thursday and Friday.
Or Thursday.
Wrong calendar.
I'm not looking down there.
Oh,
It's August, right?
yeah.
According to this, it's, yeah, it's Thursday and Friday.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, duh. Does that cut it way too tight?
Well, it's just your preliminary due, so if you have any changes.
Yeah, then, yeah.
How about the week before?
Yeah, when you got the week before. Wow. You know, and we might just have to have a special meeting for the preliminary budget, because hopefully, we could have it done on the 22nd, the preliminary budget. Because it has to be in by the 9th. So we're, it's not like we're gonna probably start this on the 5th and hurry up and just run through it,
Right.
So we're probably gonna start it on
July 8th, aren't we?
the 8th or the 22nd for sure. So, yeah, and I think the August 5th one would kind of be, just, final touches on it. So you said June 10th you would make it or not?
Yep.
Okay, because that's probably when the bids will be in for the project. Well, so, March 11th. I guess, yeah, we need to decide what we're gonna do here. So, 14th isn't a big deal with you, Colin?
The what?
14th isn't a big deal if we,
January?
you just can't make it, you just can't
Yeah.
make it, okay.
Yeah, I just won't be able to make
Hopefully
it.
there won't be much going on, and if there is, So Kid has March 11th, 13th, You got 6 of them. Do any of those, do you have anything close to any of those kids?
It's all that Thursday and Friday of them weeks.
They're all that week, okay.
Yeah.
How about the weeks before?
Be March 6th on Wednesday.
Is that Ash Wednesday, right?
Mhm. You can come with me. March 7th. Man, that's a bunch. If there's 1 or 2, it wouldn't be bad, but holy moly, that's a ton of them. I'm gonna change your schedule, kid.
Mhm.
Right?
Mhm.
What do you have for, how about August, 19th?
Me?
Yeah,
Yeah, that works.
August 19th, because that would be the 3rd. Because we have one on August 5th, so then 2 weeks later would be that 19th.
Okay, changing that one to the 19th, okay.
Okay,
August is the 19th.
right, the 26th to the 19th. Okay. You have October 14th here, and it says final budget due to the county by 10/7. So it's due a week before then.
So it has, so that,
So in September, we might have to have a special meeting in September to finalize it, possibly.
yeah.
Which is fine.
Possibly, yeah. I mean, I just threw those dates in there,
Right.
because they're close to those, so
Yep.
just so that you knew if you were sliding dates around, what
Yep.
you were kind of riding up against.
Yep, absolutely, absolutely. So, let's see.
Any day that first week of September works. It's due on the 7th, right? That's a Saturday.
That's October 7th. It's due.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Never mind.
Well, the thing is, like I said, we've had special meetings before to finalize the budget. I mean, that's,
October 2nd. Would be the idea that I'd be able to make it. Or the 1st.
first or second, that's almost too early, isn't it, or isn't it?
Yeah, I would not have financials ready, and that's, yeah.
We could have everything ready but financials, is that right, or pretty much? Nobody saying anything?
Well, wouldn't that October 1st or 2nd, wouldn't that just be with the budget? Wouldn't we already have it, the preliminary already done to the county
The
and then,
preliminary it goes in August.
right? And just to finalize the budget on that 1st or 2nd, there wouldn't be much more
Well, it'll be the
to
regular
it, would
meeting.
there?
No, just your regular financials is where.
It wouldn't be the regular meeting, your regular meeting's October 14th. This is a special meeting for the budget.
Oh, that's right, you don't have that one marked, do you?
October 14th, I'm good for the regular meeting.
Oh, okay.
But,
So-
but we have to have that in by the 7th of October, which is before our October meeting.
Right,
So we'd have to have a special meeting either that week from the 7th through the 11th, or the Not the 7th or the 11th, never mind. It has to be that week, 1st through the 4th.
The first.
I believe you can have it anytime after September. I gotta look at the date, because there isn't, you know, like, there's a window there.
Right, because people have a chance to
Yeah.
review it and come speak, so.
No earlier than September 7th and no later than October 7th. The governing body holds a public hearing for the purpose of adopting the final budget.
Okay, so we need to.
September 7th, no later than October 7th.
So, we want to give ourselves time, 7. So you said, like, September 23? How's that?
Mm-hmm.
September 23rd would work for, like, the public hearing? Tentative public hearing? Yes, no?
For the preliminary budget, that, the one
No,
doing.
for the final. Because we have to have a public hearing.
So September 9th didn't work for you, Kit, is that right?
September 9th.
No, he's got that one for the
That's
regular meeting.
good.
That works. So you can, because it says you can no earlier than September 7th. So if we have
Oh,
our
okay.
final stuff,
September 9th would work.
the 9th
Oh,
will work.
okay.
Oh,
Okay. I'm sorry, I got my dates turned around. I didn't think that was, okay, yeah, no, that would work good, okay. Have it on the same day. So, let's see, so you can't make August 5th.
If we get the budget out on July 8th, between the 8th and the 22nd, we should have that
I would hope so.
preliminary done.
I would hope so.
And I wouldn't need to be here for that August 5th one, you guys could still do that.
Okay. Noel said May 27th is Memorial Day,
Yes, it is.
so how's the 28th look? May 28th,
That works too.
okay, we work.
Same with November 11th, that's Veterans Day. 7th to
Okay.
the 12th.
So does the 12th work for November?
Yep.
Okay. So you can make June 10th, but not the 24th, so, yeah, that's probably livable. May 13th, March 4th, no, it might be livable. You know, I guess as far as changing the meetings, but like the May 13th one, you don't have anything close to that, right? Because you can make the 28th. I mean, I don't want to have a meeting a week apart, you know what I mean? I want to have at least 2 weeks. So, you got me?
So we're back to May 8th or May 6th.
We could do May 6th, I mean, that's fine with me if it works for everybody else. Randy, does that work for you? Gonna make it work, right?
Yeah.
Okay, May 6th, that's a Monday, okay. So now we got you down to March, June, and December. March 11th, June 24th, and December 9th. 10th and 11th you're busy, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I think that was the same with June too, wasn't it?
I think you're all that way. March is the same way.
Yeah.
March is the 14th and 15th of that week, and then, June, yeah, it's the same way, Thursday and Friday. They're all that Thursday and Friday deal.
Yeah. Well, I guess all we can do is try and get off, I don't know. I mean, you know, we're kind of limited on dates because, you know, on when we have them, you know, that's kind of a bad deal.
Well, December one, we could move that to the 2nd, couldn't we? That still gives you 3 weeks between.
Yeah, you just might not have financials for that, but, I mean, we don't have them today,
Oh, I
so,
see.
you know, if you guys are okay with that.
It's kind of nice to have them. Yeah, that's the problem is, you know, you don't get the statements and stuff till the 1st or close to the end of the month.
Yeah.
When you get the financials, you'll just put them on the email or send them out to us for this month?
I can.
Okay. If you would, please, that way I
Yep.
can kinda... review 'em.
I'm thinking kind of what we have here. I don't know. Does that work? I mean, I'd like to have you here at as many meetings as you can get, but sometimes schedules just don't work.
Well, 3 of them, I guess, so
Yeah, so.
better than, that's half of what it
Better
was.
than 6, yeah, so.
Okay, so can we just run through them to make sure everybody's got the right? We have January 14th,
Mhm,
February 11th,
mhm.
March 11th, April 9th, May 6th, May 28th, June 10th, June 24th, July 8th, July 22nd, August 5th, August 19th, September 9th, October 14th, November 12th, and December 9th.
Yep. Okay, I'll move that those are the meeting dates for 2019.
I'll second.
Discussion? No, Colin?
Yes.
Kip?
Yes.
Mike?
Aye.
No?
Aye.
Yes. Bills? Did we have a chance to review the bills?
Make a motion to pay bills.
I second it.
Discussion on the bills? Colin?
Yes.
Kip?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Well,
Aye.
yes. Okay, next meeting is on January 14th at 6:30 PM. And meeting adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
A quick question for you.
Yes, sir.
If somebody wanted to have a party,
You can't ask it in a forum, not that we're adjourned, you can ask me privately.
oh, okay.
Extra couple hours, that's when you start to look at the Oh, yeah.
You went faster than I thought.
Yeah, for
I thought it was gonna take forever. What?
David, so we're gonna file a meeting January 7th.
January 7th?
I did turn mine off.
Mine's still on.
I don't know if Larry had his on or not, to be honest.
Which
I
one?
had them all turned on, so that's okay, I'll just check them all.
It's on the
That's fine.
museum door, so